Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, Late Bloomers in GOB Production proudly presents to you. We got the main man, Odie. They got me, your boy CT. And in thoughts and prayers and in spirit, we got our man Chris, who can't be here right now. And we are the three not so wise men talking wrestling. And if you ain't down with that, and if you ain't liking my singing, then I got two words for you. Okay.
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah.
So, we are back again with another episode of the Three Not So Wise Men Talking Wrestling. Make sure to find us on all platforms. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on IG. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Audible, iHeartRadio, and we have more to come. But that being said, we're going to jump right into it. Audie, how are you doing right now?
Man, I'm good.
Ooh, I see you have the My Hero Academia shirt on right now.
Plus Ultra.
I can't wait for the next season to come out, but that is for another podcast.
Yeah, and I'm about to catch up on Demon Slayer too, because I've been missing that. Yeah, I know. We're not gonna talk about it because I know the season finale is a 40-minute episode, so it's gonna be crazy.
Oh, yeah. I know it can't be soon. It shouldn't.
Better not be. But I'm about to catch up on that.
4 more episodes. But we have had so much happen in wrestling. We've had the Royal Rumble take place. We've had amazing Dynamite, but some people might say not so amazing Dynamite. The Royal Rumble was set on fire,
and literally.
Yeah, so we might as well just jump straight into it. We all knew that something was going to happen at the Royal Rumble with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
We must say congratulations, however, to Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
Championship.
Round of applause to that guy.
I mean, there's really not much to say on the matter of the championship matches from my thoughts, just because, you can see that from.
Yeah, we called it.
You can see that from a year away.
Yeah.
That was going to happen. But did you like how, I would say, the Universal Championship match?
Okay. Universal is Roman's champion.
That's right.
I thought that was a good match. I can't remember the ending with as much of it being a good match.
Basically, it was an attempted murder.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it, he had him. Roman Reigns had Seth Rollins in the guillotine headlock. Seth Rollins had his hands on the rope. Roman Reigns didn't release it.
Oh, yeah.
Right there, because he held on for so long. That pretty much is attempted murder, because it only takes a good 5 seconds to completely incapacitate somebody. And he held it on for a good 20, 30, maybe even a minute. And that's why I tweeted out, I was like, yo, if the WWE wants to start doing this type of thing, they need Herb Dean to come in there and legit just plow in there and break it up. Like, you got to let go. You need to let go. You need to let go now. And then, afterwards, he decided to beat him with the chair.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, Roman lost, but he can't lose disqualification. So.
Yeah. And with that, I think that how can I say it? Roman is a badass. I remember when I was trying to get into him and Shield when I saw that he was going to be one of the big faces. And I was like, this guy's boring. He's not charismatic. He's not high energy. And he's been using that to his advantage. And so what it is like he's not charismatic, high energy because he's ice cold. Like the way that they're doing him now is fucking amazing. So for him, yeah, I remember the show. Yeah, I thought that he is a great heel. Like when I saw that, I was like, yeah, he making me not like him because I think I've said last episode that Seth freaking Rollins is probably my favorite Rollins right now, and so it gave heat for Roman Reigns for a person I didn't care about before. The disqualification allows him to lose without losing the championship, and so is that I guess that idea is to make sure that Seth comes out still as the winner. He doesn't look like he's lost any momentum in this. So for whatever they're about to do with WWE and WrestleMania, I'm seeing that is going to either be Seth or Bobby, or Seth wins at Elimination Chamber, and then it's going to be Seth and Kevin. But they ended that to where you can see who they're putting up next on the Raw brand. That was my look.
I wish they would have went the Swerve way, and they would have had, like, they still would have had Roman Reigns screw over Brock Lesnar. But instead of doing it at the Royal Rumble, they do it at Elimination Chamber. Because since everybody saw, like, everybody knew that Swerve was coming, it's like that's the way that everybody on the toes, like, oh man, they both won. Now that it could even go to the Royal Rumble. It's like, yo, we don't know who's going to win the Royal Rumble. Because honestly, Brock didn't need to win the Royal Rumble to guarantee his title shot to that Rumble.
Yeah, but they needed to get that belt off. That was the issue.
That's fine. That's fine as him losing the title. But they could have shot whoever's facing Bobby Lashley for the title or something like that, because Brock Lesnar's not going for anything but the World Heavyweight title or the Universal title. Never going for the IC. He's never even held the IC European at the time or United States Championship. Hell, he's barely held the Tag Team Championship, maybe once or twice.
Yeah, and for that, Bobby couldn't beat him legitimately. Like that's the reason why. Like there was no way. And I honestly think that day one fucking up forced all of this to happen.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So they had to find a way for Brock to still be legitimate, with Bobby still being legitimate, and like all four of those people had to be legitimate in the match. Now that Bobby has to win the championship, he has to look like he won the championship. But he got to make sure that Brock doesn't look like he lost the championship. And Seth was supposed to win the championship. So now for that run, he had to still look like the winner without making Roman look like the loser. So I think that was the only way.
Even if they wanted to still have Brock win, they still could have had Roman Reigns interfere in the match. But instead of hitting Lesnar moves out the way and he accidentally hits Lashley. So he wins that way. So it's still been strong. But I know they still
had to lose that belt.
They think kind of like Arrow. But it's just something else that could have done to get WrestleMania like just something different. Something different's about to happen. Everybody,
yeah. No, I think that they had to have Bobby win that belt, because whatever they're gonna do with Brock at what's the name of that show? At the Elimination Chamber. He's gonna become out victorious, but they needed somebody else to hold that belt.
But he's in the world title match with Bobby. It's Bobby versus Brock versus Austin Theory versus.
Oh yeah, I missed Raw. I forgot Raw came out. So yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't.
Elimination Chamber. They had the qualifications already, and they
Mhm.
had a match. So I
But it's Bobby, Brock, Austin, and who? Seth?
want to say Seth might be in it. No, who's not in it?
Shane O'Mac. It's like,
Well, that too. He don't. That he definitely would try to put himself. That being said, congratulations to Shane O'Mac, new master, trying to take over the Royal Rumble and
yeah.
trying to make himself look strong. You are a 52-year-old man. All be respect to you and your father and everything, bro. You don't sit your ass home.
There's a couple people that need to sit their ass down. We'll get into that in a second. But let's continue on with
Yeah, I will find that whoever's going to be in the Elimination Chamber later, and or for another podcast. What did you think about the women's Royal Rumble? For all honesty, I felt like that was the better of the two.
oh, it definitely was a better of the two. Um, they got I think that it was like a big disconnect there still, as far as they had an opportunity to have um Bianca Belair there, Becky, Ronda, Sasha. They could have been like the final four, and it could have been like, oh, all of this shit going on. And because I think those are their biggest stars right now. I mean, Ronda is big because of the return, but Sasha's return, that pop that she got was amazing. Bianca has been the probably number 2 or 3 on the roster as far as women, behind Becky and Charlotte. Um, and then you got Becky, who is no wait, yeah, Becky was in it. Yeah, Becky could have been that
Becky
person
was
that
in it.
I could have sworn she was in it.
Face Doudrop for the
Yeah,
title.
she did. She did. So Charlotte, that who it was. It was Charlotte. I don't know how the hell I mixed them up, but Becky and Charlotte. I mean, it's Charlotte, Ronda, Sasha, and Bianca Belair. And the fact that Sasha was number 1 and she would have made it to that final four would have been a fucking amazing. But it was some missed opportunities. There were some
And they had
opportunities.
her get eliminated by Queen Mara.
Yeah.
Which I mean, people are saying, oh, why did they have Selena uh, eliminate Sasha? I saw it as a wink, wink, nudge, nudge to all of our anime fans, seeing that she was dressed, or Melina was dressed, Zelina was dressed as Madara, and Sasha Banks was dressed as Sailor Moon. That's how I saw it.
Oh, and yeah, that was a cool thing. And I think that there could honestly it could be a story with Sasha and Queen.
I think I know what's going to happen.
Let's hear it.
Hot take, hot take, hot take. So Zelina and Carmella are currently tag team champions. I
Yeah.
don't know who this, but because they don't defend it, they don't do anything. I can see Bailey coming back for WrestleMania and then connecting Bailey and Sasha Banks versus Queen Zelina and Carmella tag team champion at WrestleMania.
That would be great. And they can do an actual Queen Zelina versus Sasha at Elimination Chamber. I think they already got Elimination Chamber set up though, right?
They have a few of the matches set up.
Yeah, but Zelina versus Sasha with a Bailey return would be fucking amazing. Because you know Carmella's gonna be on the apron, I'm on the side, just
maybe.
jump.
Well, we're jumping a little ahead of ourselves because you got to remember it's also on Sunday.
Yeah, that yeah.
So
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. Hopefully, they are a little. hopefully they can get something like that done. Because I think that at a premium live event, a Bailey return, even if it's in Saudi Arabia, would it would be an amazing, it would be a historic moment. And so yeah. Oh, and speaking of Elimination Chamber, it is Bobby Lashley versus Brock versus Seth versus AJ Styles versus Riddle and Austin Theory.
Which I guess what I've heard was Riddle was supposed to win Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Which also I was laughing because Riddle and Brock Lesnar shared the ring together. You know about their
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know. So.
Basically, Riddle was doing a little shootsy talking on a few people. That's why him and Goldberg don't get along.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. He was shooting on a few people, but he was like, I should be talking like this because I want to be the best, right? It was in that shoot.
You remember how I told you that wrestlers very, very
emotional, sensitive?
Sensitive. That's you. That's I'm not gonna say Vince or not gonna say Brock Lesnar being sensitive or anything because I'm not a team face. But he didn't like what he said, and I guess there was a time where Riddle or Brock saw Riddle and they came up and he talked to him like, "Hey, how's it going?" This Brock said, "Oh, you'll never be in the ring with me."
Now he's in the ring with him, and now this is funny because that honestly, there must have been some politics that went on behind it, or some conversations being made. Because if Brock Lesnar said, "Hey, you're not sharing a ring with me," it's kind of like Brock saying, "Hey, Shawn Michaels, ha, you're not sharing a ring with me." Like so hopefully Riddle said some things that made everything cool.
It's blown over since then, so. Well, I mean, obviously it has since they were in the ring together.
Yeah.
He did get eliminated. So.
Yeah. Who is this guy? Hold on. Okay. Sorry, I got a whole bunch of news going on because I got a lot of stuff that we've been. But no, yeah. Back to the Royal Rumble because we were just talking about Elimination Chamber. We just had to get that out there. Thank y'all for just following us because we are a little ADHD-ish. So
we will go everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
He'll come back to where we're going.
Yeah.
Yes, back to the Royal Rumble and the women's Royal.
Yes.
I think the two highlights that I loved was when they brought Ivory back because if you think about it, Right to Censor won, sang this for a while. So it's great to see Ivory back. And then also Mighty Molly.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was just like, I think I called it too. I was like, to bring Mighty Molly, then they're going to have to do something with Nikki.
ASH, yeah. Yeah. And when I saw Molly, I honestly thought R.I.P. Crash. That was one of my favorites. So I just want to put him out there. He was amazing. The greatest hardcore champion ever.
He was also like weighed the heaviest.
Yeah. Yeah, he was like the 500-pound man. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Weight in the world.
So yeah. So it's R.I.P. Crash. We gotta do something with that with some of the people that passed as far as I don't know, ranking. Because we got there's a cold ass roster up in heaven right now. Yeah. and no, I know that people might take this the wrong way, but there's a couple of good wrestlers down in hell right about. Yeah. Yeah.
But going back
to the women, sorry.
I want them to actually have a match with Molly Holly and
Nikki.
Super.
Yeah, that would be good.
I not gonna say I didn't love the way that they ended the women's Royal Rumble, but I mean, Ronda Rousey came out to a huge pop. We all knew she was coming back.
Of
We all knew
course.
she came back, she was going to win. And I mean, she did what she had to do, and she's going to be going to WrestleMania to supposedly fight Charlotte instead of Becky. You know, everybody wants it to be Ronda versus Becky.
Everybody wants to be Ronda versus Becky.
But
Everybody.
I feel like this way, Ronda's going to beat Charlotte. Don't have that loss on Becky just yet. Then at Survivor Series this year, it'll be Becky. No, Becky should lose. Becky versus Ronda Rousey at the Survivor Series.
Yeah. That'd be cool. And and honestly, if they do a long-term booking like that, then I would appreciate it. I would honestly appreciate it. So yeah.
So then I guess we should go to another. Should we talk about Edge, Beth Phoenix versus The Miz and Maurice? No, skip. All right, cool.
Yeah, miss that.
I forgot that match was on the Royal Rumble. So
Adam and Britt did it better. Oh, look at that.
Since we said we weren't going to talk about it, but we're obviously talking about it. I definitely think they should have had Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Seth and Becky.
Yes, that should have been it. But I understand that honestly that
Ooh.
I don't get it. What's up?
I know they're not going to do this, but what if they did Seth Rollins wins at the Elimination Chamber?
Mm-hmm.
And then at WrestleMania in a tag team match, it is Edge, Beth Phoenix challenging Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, their respective title in a tag team.
Yeah, that'll work.
Even though I know that they're not going to do that because they wouldn't want those to be singles matches, but I think that would have been like a nice little way to get both of them on.
Yeah, no, that definitely would be cool.
And then they would have really brought in the mind games and everything that Seth Rollins. Think about it. That should be upset.
He definitely should. He went to the man's house. Like honestly, he went to the man's house. He pretty much put his foot on the table and everything. He went and critiqued his groceries. Yeah, man. And honestly, Becky should be talking about that and backing him up. Like, yeah, he should have went into the house and
Oh man, I wish I had some gummy snacks. What are these? Just start stealing the kids.
the good gummy. Yeah.
It's crazy. I've been doing his laugh a lot now too. And I just wanted to see.
Listen, if they put him in the new Batman movie playing the Joker, I wouldn't be mad.
Or the Scarecrow.
I wouldn't be mad at that either.
But they already have a Scarecrow.
Hey, in the MCU, if he's another version of the Green Goblin, yeah.
Does look like a good Green Goblin. He has a Green Goblin.
And that was something that I wanted to say about this whole Roman and Seth thing. It was heel versus heel pretty much. And honestly, I think that there should be more matches like that.
Yeah.
Heel versus heel and face versus face.
No one wanted to root for Rollins. Or not Rollins, Reigns. And then Seth coming out in the Shield setup, just got everybody hit within the style.
Yeah. And I wouldn't have been if Mox came out of nowhere. That would have been like I would have, my conspiracy theory would have been like ha. But yeah. But yeah, we're gonna bypass that. Even though there is some shit that I could say, but we're not gonna talk about that. Let's go. What was the other match? It was
Doudrop versus
Becky.
Which Nobody was paying attention to that, unfortunately, just because
WrestleMania was on fire.
yeah, WrestleMania was on fire. They don't need no water because Vince Man is gonna make that motherfucker burn. Burn.
Burn, motherfucker. Yeah.
But that was one of the matches. I think there was maybe another one, but again, not worth talking about, I guess. So we had the Rock versus Lashley title match, which that was just man meat slapping man meat, and they could have had a good like wrestling match, like because they're both great wrestlers, but instead they just had a German suplex match, which then, as we all know, Roman Reigns came in, speared him, hit him with the title, which I think I get why they did it, but him hitting him with the title, I'm like, you should have hit him with the title, then hit him with the spear.
Yeah.
Like, take the title away from Heyman, hit him with it, then he hand it to him. He takes it, spear. Here comes Brock or Lesnar, Lashley with another spear. 1, 2, 3.
Should have been done. I mean, I think that was a better ending than what they did. I mean, I would even wanted to see Roman try to figure out how to hold the belt in his hand and do the Superman punch, because then I actually would believe that he would knock somebody out with that. But even though I do believe that Orange Cassidy could, because he saves his energy for that one. But
Yeah.
but Roman, I believe the spear more than the Superman punch. I may be hating, but
Which then led to the men's Royal Rumble match, and that was
yeah.
so they had AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura as 1 and 2.
Yeah. Can we fast forward?
Let's see how fastly. They had Bad Bunny come out. So
Great moment, highlight.
Probably the highlight of it. With his spot, Kofi Kingston.
I was just about to say that. Yeah,
Which I actually like that he didn't make it.
I mean, I understand. I know that he wasn't going to make it. I don't like the fact that he went out the way that he did go out.
Well, no.
But
he was going to make it.
Huh?
He thought he was going to make it.
Oh yeah, nah, he wasn't gonna make it, especially with Shane O'Mac doing everything that he was doing. But the way that he went out, I don't like it. But I want him to try that 10 times out of 10, because I know at least 9 times out of 10 he's amazing enough to pull that off. So
there was a video of John Morrison trying to do a backflip off the side of the ring and land on the barricade. Well, and he just realized, like, yo, that just couldn't happen. But the reason why I like that is because it's like for the long time, the last 10 years, Kofi's been able to make it. Like, oh, somehow through finessing, he's been able to stay in the match. And this time it's like, yo, for every 10 times, it's gonna be that one time that doesn't work.
Yeah, I wanted that one to work. And in my head, I thought, and this is no slight to Kofi. In my head, I thought Scorpio Sky probably would have made that one.
He was just talking.
Yeah, but shit, Ray Finish might have made that. And that's one of the things I love. I love the fact that I can say those things, because those are the only 2 people. Because I know that it's been a minute since I gave them praises, but those are the only 2 people that I can see crazy enough to do what Kofi does in a Royal Rumble match and pull it off. So, Kofi, thank you for being a little bit of sunshine in the dark world of Vince McMahon's WWE or Nick Khan's WWE.
Oh, he was out there watching.
Yeah. And then so we had Kofi getting out the way that he went out. We had Bad Bunny.
Then we had the worst part in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Shane McMahon coming out, the rich kid, with his extremely shitty, super shitty. I don't know if I've said shitty enough. Shitty punches. I hate watching Shane McMahon throw his stupid punches. Every time I see him, I just want to kick him in the nuts. Every time I see punches and someone sells for him, I want to convulse on the ground.
I can't blame you.
The ground, spaz, like no other. And I'm so mad because not only did the Undertaker have to sell for that, let's see, Kevin Owens, just everybody had to sell extremely cheap.
We got about 20 years of people selling those punches, man. and hey, you and Chris said it. During it was either SummerSlam or Survivor Series. I think it was Survivor Series. Y'all said that no, the whole King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring, and how Shane would come in and he would win the Queen's crown. Yeah, I was like, he can't be this much of an asshole. He is. It was a
so like, oh, I'm the boss's son. I can do this. Like, just because you can and just because you can doesn't mean you should. Like,
yeah.
He should sit in the back.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah.
Like, okay, if you want to be in the Royal Rumble match, awesome. Be within the top 15 and then get eliminated by time number 20.
Or hey, how about make yourself the highlight and you come in at number 15 and there's 7 people there and you just take finisher after finisher after finisher, get one person out, and then you get another super finisher out this bitch. Like you we don't believe you. We don't believe you to be who you tried to be at the Royal Rumble.
We don't believe take 2 super kicks and then still eliminate the person who eliminates you to outstrike, I don't know, someone who's in the UFC and be within the last 3 in the Royal Rumble. Someone who was blowing hot air entire match.
Yeah. Jeff Jarrett punches are better than yours. Who else? Don't Scotty too. How they got a punch? No, it's Road Dogg. Road Dogg's punches is better than yours. Let's see. I know a 2-year-old that got better punches than yours. I don't like you right now, and I gave you praises about your falls, but you only wrestle one night every 3 years. You can rest.
You are not the Undertaker. You do not need a streak. Okay, you just need to be there, come in, do something, and then leave.
And let me ask you this question: how you get fired from your own company? I mean, yeah, you are McMahon, and that is in the. How did you get fired?
I'm so happy he was released because he wanted himself. Like, I don't know if he wanted himself a title picture, what? Because there were plans for him to be on the Raw brand and be a heel. Him feud with either Bobby Lashley or Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, and then they were probably going to have him go over. No. You finally did something correct.
Yes, thank you, Nick. The second best kind, not third.
Well, and then like listening to my guy Lindsay when he was talking about like the WWE right now, he's like, "Yo, there's so many people in there who they don't have their drive right now. The drive when they first got there is gone, and it's shown."
Yeah,
but it's not for a lack of them; it's for a lack of the WWE. Just kind of like beating them.
Oh. All right. Let me propose something to you. Is it possible that all of this stuff that is happening up under Nick Khan is because he wants to shake up? Ooh, excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. The status quo. He
But no,
think that
Disney's already showing WWE products in Indonesia. So I mean,
yeah, but because the way that I see it is that yeah, he got to keep these big superstars in because that's where they are right now. But
what about
he's
they're like not like, oh, we're just gonna go do stuff when they're legit like not hearing. What are they
I I think the whole idea of NXT 2.0 is very telling. I think that if Roman Reigns get over, right, he's gonna have to get he's if he wins the championship, he's gonna be the longest reign. They gotta do something with The Rock because it's already been in the works since the egg situation. So he's probably gonna have 2 years of having that, right? But this entire time, what if it's not Vince taking in Austin Theory and it's Nick saying that Austin Theory could be the star? And he's starting to put in some fresh new faces in certain areas. Like if he did this, my hat's off for him taking such a huge risk because
but who else do they have besides Rich Holland? I don't. I see him getting put into the Cesaro.
mhm.
Like
But I think that 2.0 is going to be developmental, and Braun Breaker is going to be up within the next year. A couple of those people that Nick probably liked that he didn't release, because I'm not familiar with the names, and this is where I wish Chris was here. But the dude with the mustache,
talking about
yeah, the one that got married, the one that got married on NXT. I can't remember his name.
Miss.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that if he starts using that as a developmental, and they're bringing all of these green stars up, yeah, I can
well,
see.
the thing is, NXT was the developmental, but then they just wanted to start competing with all these other promotions, and then they just kind of made it that. And once they went on TV, that's what instead of making them mental, it actually made an actual promotion or entity in
Yeah.
W.
But but with that, how long has Adam Cole been around in NXT?
He was there for like 3 or 4
Okay, how many stars were in NXT for over 3 years and they just remain superstars? Like I understand that some people don't transfer well because I know Samoa Joe was a star, right?
But no,
And
some
they
people didn't want to go up to the main roster
and
because the perks that they had. As long as they stay on the NXT roster, from my belief or from what I was told, and this is allegedly talking to anybody, but while they're in NXT, they get all their health benefits. They
mhm.
get thing that someone who was under contract should get and is not considered a independent.
So they're actually employees.
Yes.
So some people decided to stay employees because they get all of their benefits and stuff, and that's cool. And I
And they
get it,
have to travel and do. You don't have to do all the traveling that
right? Because they got their own, they're in Florida and everything, right?
they don't have to deal with cost of buying their hotel rooms, buying their rental cars, after the show, driving 500 miles to the next show. Da, 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 da.
Now, what if Nick Khan is saying, "Hey, I understand that it was gravy for you down there, but some of these people is old and need to get the fuck out,
That's
and we're trying."
the thought process with NXT now. They after every 6 months you get an evaluation. If you meet that evaluation, those 6 months, not they either release you then, or they give you a minute to try to like do something, or
Yeah,
and then that.
but I think and this is where my thought is that Nick Khan is trying to say, "Hey, the old guards need to move the fuck out of the way." And honestly, and if he's saying, "Hey, this is going to be 3 hours," like he's saying a lot. Like he said a lot of stuff, but I seen more action and stuff that he didn't say than some of the stuff that he's actually said.
But it's not on the talent
Mm.
because WWE decided to hire everybody in the world. So it's like even with that, can't even if you're like the greatest talent, you can't always get over just because
Right.
there's so many people. So with the releases,
Yeah.
congratulations with the October releases. So Killer Cross is back.
Mm-hmm.
Have State's back. Keith Lee's back.
Mm-hmm.
Back. They can get to the indie scene. I know they're going to all do well.
Mm-hmm.
See what they got. But even then, it's like, why would someone overseas want to come to over here to America just in 6 months to be told, oh, we're going to release you just because you haven't gotten something?
But I think, how can I say it? And we can get into this whole conversation a little bit later. But what I was saying is that I see that Nick may be trying to get some fresh faces in instead of having the same old people that's been running shit for 10 to 15 years.
Well, if he wants to get new people in, then you know what he should do? Free Ali.
I think that's a mistake. Like, and when we started this,
the Pac thing. This is the like, I don't know, were you weren't watching wrestling when Pac decided to leave the WWE.
mm,
So basically, Neville was like, yo, he was supposed to lose. He lost to Enzo Amore for the title, which Enzo was a horrible wrestler. Um, and he just didn't like what was going on, so he just decided, yo, I'm just gonna go home. And he legit sat for a year and a half before his contract was up. And everybody's thinking like Ali might have to go and do that, just sit at home, bite the bullet, not wrestle.
yeah, no, I think that he's probably gonna have to do that. But I think that that's more of a Vince thing than a Nick thing. I think that a person that literally will say, "I don't give a fuck if you somebody's son." Peace out. I think that he would have granted Ali's contract release, but I think because the issue was between Vince and Ali, that's what's the holdup. Because
Yeah.
Vince is definitely that petty. So, I started we started this podcast with me saying, "Hey, I think Vince is, he had his hand off a lot of stuff, and he's this, that, and the third. And we should really give Vince, a shot because he's getting back in it." But I'm changing that, and I think Nick is probably going to be better in the long run. And honestly, one of the things that made me look at it a little differently was Ric Flair saying that he would never work for Nick. He'll work for Vince, but never work for Nick. I said, "Oh, you toxic, you're horrible, and you're bad. And if somebody is forcing you to actually do good and you don't want to do it, then yeah, it's probably Nick is probably a good choice."
Not wrong.
Yeah, but we'll see. Because right now, all those releases made me feel bad. But seeing how things are, the swamp, yes, seeing how the swamp is getting cleared.
Is it the swamp when they're getting rid of like Triple H and everybody like who was trying to actively make grow wrestling within the WWE better?
Yeah. And with that, I think that it's really a little bit of nepotism. Yeah, you, Triple H, as a professional wrestler, you have this thing of seeing what the fans tend to see, and you have the thought of what it is as being a wrestler. But you are definitely emotional and connected to a lot of people that you probably should have let go. You got a person that is, hopefully he's not just looking at the bottom line, but he's also an outsider looking in, and if he's he's seeing problems. Yeah, because and if he didn't fire Shane or Shane didn't get released, I probably would be like, oh yeah, this is just the same old BS that's going on. But that is an outlier.
Get let go. Couldn't do what he wanted to do.
So yeah, but yeah, F you, Shane.
Yeah.
Just to get back, you actually making me think Nick Khan is a good guy. So F you, Shane. Oh, and Brock won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody knew. So
yeah,
no, we that one.
Yeah.
Then we're going to head. We're going to head to the House of Dub. A-W.
Oh. And because we're jumping from one house to another house so quick, shout out to Brian Kendrick for jumping from WWE to AEW in 24 hours and less than 48 hours being unemployed. Hey!
Yo, just a reminder, boys and girls, what you say will always come back and haunt you.
Oh yeah, there's consequences to free speech. You had the freedom to say it, but you got consequences that come with that.
That made everybody getting in trouble for their old stuff just makes me go back and look at mine. And then I don't delete it because most of my stuff is just really cringy, not in a bad way. Not in a good way either. It's just like for myself. Attention seeking.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I have never seen anybody that has said something from a place of love, even if it's, even if it's something like, if he'd have said that about black people, it wouldn't have been as bad as far as him being released so quickly or whatever. That is coming from the love of one black man to the black community and seeing the hypocrisy that is going on.
Mm-hmm.
But everything that is coming out of fear, ignorance, or hate is always going to come back to bite you. If he would have said anything else or said something from the fact of, hey, I want this world to progress, even if it's a little controversial, you'll be able to stand on your ground and you wouldn't have to apologize. Because he did apologize. And it was years ago, because it was, I don't even know if let's explain it for the fans that are listening. Brian Kendrick did an interview in 2012.
Yeah, about 10 years ago.
Yeah, this is about 10 years ago. And they asked, I can't remember what they asked him. They asked him about
Time out real quick.
Uh-huh.
Kind of not really breaking news, but I guess Dave Meltzer has reported that Vince is leaning on a title for title match, WrestleMania, Rocky.
A title for title match?
Yeah.
Listen, Nick. That is a Nick Khan thing. I don't think that is a Vince.
No, saying Vince. And if that's the thing, then why did you make him go?
That's
like, it's fine if they wanted to do a title versus title, but
you should have kept it on Brock.
Yeah, there was no point in making Brock lose.
Yeah. Which is why I'm really thinking that's
I'm hoping that this is just
a rumor.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out at the Elimination Chamber when Brock wins. Brock wins title for title match. Ain't no way about it.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, Brian Kendrick. Let's get back to him because that was more important than this. But Brian Kendrick, he said in an interview, he went to a David Icke conference and he was talking about the whole Illuminati thing and the 12 bloodlines and all of that. They're taking over, they got hidden agendas and all of that. And then he gets into a statement about the Jewish medics going over and snatching body parts.
Mm-hmm.
And he tried to clear it up by saying, hey, he don't think that they're a part of it. But yeah, why couldn't you just say medics? Like, all of the conspiracy theory comes from fear, comes from people that is looking to make a profit. Because I've been thinking about starting my own conspiracy theories for a profit. But it doesn't come from any fact. Like there has yet to be any real fact that has come from anything that David Icke says. And any form of fact that he has gotten he's mired it in judgmental, prejudicial, and psychotic statements where the whatever fact that he was trying to bring up is null and void based off the legitimacy of the person that is saying it, which is David Icke. So if anybody is following David Icke and all of that, please pick up a book and start reading. That's the only way that I can get you away from the sickness that is unintelligence. Pick up a book and start reading. Because if you start following him, you start being a sheep, you're going to end up like Brian Kendrick. You will have been blessed to get from one job to another job in 24 hours. And because of statements of fear and ignorance, you lost your shit. And then you got to apologize for it.
Yeah.
Man, do you know when Muhammad Ali had got locked up because he wasn't fighting a war against a person that ain't never called him a nigga? He stood his ground. And he ain't apologized for nothing. And he won his title back. And he is still one of the most impactful and prolific African Americans in our time, even after he passed. So, dude, what the hell were you thinking? I'm sorry.
There is something about being a skin with no melanin where you just feel like you have no consequence.
Oh, okay. And I'm sorry if anybody that is technically what is white privilege. That is, and for the people that don't know it, we are not here to judge you. We are here to educate you. That is white privilege. You think that you can say anything that you want and have no consequences. And when you was with Vince, there was no consequence to it. Tony, person of color, a minority, just like the Jewish community, there was consequences. So yeah, that is what privilege is. For those that always try to say, what is white privilege? That's what it is. And it's not, and I'm not going to say that it's just, you're just a horrible person because you got it. Only horrible people are people that don't realize that they have it and yet uses it to their advantage. You're assholes. But yeah, he had a brain fart 10 years ago, came back to haunt him, and consequences are consequences. Yeah.
So that being said, we can let Brian rest in peace right now.
Yeah, we're gonna clown you every once in a while.
We're gonna go to another Brian. He was a part of a segment that Brian Kendrick was supposed to be a part of when he was wrestling. Should have been wrestling.
Yeah.
But it went to Wheeler Yuta.
Shout out to Wheeler.
Had him a nice little
had a good match.
Great match.
Yeah, even though the fans weren't into it. It was weird.
Felt like for what it was a great match. I loved it. I was like, yeah, showing what Wheeler Yuta has.
Yeah. Honestly, when I saw Wheeler Yuta get started in the match, for a second I thought, damn, Brian Kendrick could be sitting back looking and thinking that this was him. But let's keep this real. Let's keep this 100. Brian Kendrick, if you was in that match, you would have got squashed, and you already know it. So,
yeah, it's kind of better that he was in it because then afterwards, the little tit for tat that he had with Brian Danielson,
perfect.
Perfecto.
They definitely switched the whole game up with that.
Because now it's like who, for those who are under a rock, Daniel Bryan, instead of, because everybody wants them to like wrestle.
Brian Danielson.
Instead of like fight, they were like, yo, why don't we just
him up?
Get a tag team.
Yeah.
Next like evolution. I can definitely see them taking like some younger talent and really giving back to the wrestling business. Because to be honest, the both of them probably have a little less than 10 years left.
You know, you got Sting and Chris Jericho doing what it is they're doing. Well, they can still be 20.
Yes, but I mean, like, they won't be those guys. Like, they'll still be the guys. They won't be those guys.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Like, yeah. So it's good that they're trying to, like, that's what AEW is doing anyway. Setting up other wrestlers, younger wrestlers, to take the places of like the
big names, yeah.
Bros. Future. Something that the WWE is struggling to do. So I'm totally down for them like tagging, and then eventually, it would break up into them wrestling each other.
See, and this is the issue that I have with that, because I would love it, but how do you feel? Moxley is Mox, right?
Yeah.
And now Brian Danielson is a heel. And he said it. Even though they don't love me, they love what I'm saying. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They team up. You have one person that can't do no wrong and one person that they hate right now. Be tag teams starting to stable. Like it it would be so much mixed emotion that goes on with that, and I don't know how I would feel about that, because honestly, if they take on the face side of it, like they do it, and people love Moxley because he's still Moxley, Brian Danielson is going to get drowned out. Yeah. If they hate the situation, it's going to be a more of the Danielson being the face of it, and Moxley is going to be drowned out, because the fans are going to pick that side, and that'll be the determining factor of everything.
And then that would be when they'll break up, and then if they have a stable together, they like people choose sides. So then it's an internal fight. Clash, love, whatever their names would be. The Dragon.
The psychopathic dragons. Yes. Yeah.
It's a psychopath. And then let's see, we had a Brandy segment. Yep.
Yeah.
Nyla Rose and Ruby Soho had a nice little match.
I bypassed that match. Yeah. I'm not on Ruby like how everybody else is on Ruby.
I'm on Ruby because she's from India.
Okay. I see why you're on to Ruby. But I don't get it.
She's a dope female wrestler. When given at the time. She really is. I've seen her wrestle at many shows, have been at shows, like wrestled on shows. She's really good. It's just it's on the indie scene, people can really get the time to like show craft what they have. Once you get to the WWE, AEW, Impact, all about time. You have to hit your times because timing matters.
Yeah, and that's probably it. But even with that, it's like a lot of times it seemed like she's going at half speed, and I don't like that.
Hey, that sometimes she has to wrestle to the ability of her opponent. Like if
Yeah,
she can't
she.
go like she can go, then it's going to make it look even sloppier. So it's best to go at the pace that you know you and your opponent go on.
But she did that with Britt, and it made me feel away. So it was like, and it is, and it, honestly, like I've seen, Britt can go, Britt can go, and I think, and
Yeah,
it may be the fact that it was like her first big match, so there was some nervousness there was some chemistry issues, I'll bypass that, but I've seen it a couple times, and I've been a little on Ruby. Not saying that she's bad, it's just that for me, I don't get it.
no, Ruby like she wrestles dude. She don't wrestle just women. So like yeah, Britt Baker can go, but she hasn't been like really put through that test. She's not really actively wrestling these men out there. Feel me? Like, so she doesn't get that type of experience that someone of Ruby Soho's experience got. Like, I'm trying to find what show she's going to be wrestling at next, indie show, and she's wrestling. Yeah, I wrote the word and put them together in a sentence. A well-known guy as well.
Hmm.
Mm-mm-mm. And then let's see. After the Ruby Soho match, he had Lance Archer come out, or no, the Cowboy come out.
Mm.
Him basically saying he's done waiting instead of waiting till next week to come out this week and fight.
Yeah.
So Lance Archer obliged, did that,
Whooped
and
his ass. Whooped the cowboy shit out of him.
so that's leading up to their Texas. I was going to say Texas Chainsaw match. Their Texas Hardcore match at next week's
Dynamite.
Dynamite.
Yeah.
What did you think about it?
I love Lance Archer. I've grown to love
Oh, so
Hangman. I've grown to love Hangman. There is a small disconnect there. Like there is something that is missing. I can't put my finger on it. It's probably the fact that I know that Hangman is going to lose this, and it didn't give me. I haven't had a question in my head just yet. If I think that if there was to spark something where this could be a possibility, like if this was a themed dynamite, like a blood and guts or a Great American Bash or whatever dynamite, I would say, oh, they probably would put it on him and start the redemption period of Hangman again. But it's not. So I don't see it happening. And honestly, who said it? I'm trying to remember who said it. I can't remember who said it, but they said it is a lot easier for a heel as a champion than it is for a face to be a champion.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So for the faces was the journey. So now it's like, what's next? And
they
for
have
the
challengers to like gotta have good challengers for face. For the hill, you just need to find a
you
hill
got
needs to like get that
yeah no it I
that person who people need to get behind.
see what it is that we are trying to find so hard for a face. We follow the journey of the face, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he wins the championship. And all we know at that is that who is going to be the heel to bring him down. Because honestly, that's what it is. If there's not a heel that's in place to bring him down, it ain't really gonna work. It's just gonna be like, well, who's next? Well, who's next? Well, who's next? Well, who's next?
And
But
who are
for
Goldberg?
right. But if you're a heel, you're following the journey of a face. So like honestly, let's do it like this.
Oh, that's sweet.
Who's your faces before I continue?
Isaiah Swerve.
Oh, okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, at
Right, the swerve.
Yeah.
Hit roll, baby. But no, yeah. So, like, honestly, the story of the big part of the issue of Hangman Page is that everybody believes it's going to be MJF the one to bring him down. Well, I don't want to say everybody, but with my whole story conspiracy, because I haven't gotten to that, Hangman was the person that can only beat Kenny. MJF is going to be the heel to bring him down, right? And is going to further the story of Cody Rhodes.
Well, and the only person to defeat Daniel as well.
Say that again.
Adam is the only person to defeat Daniel.
Yeah, he's the only person to defeat Daniel. When we'll get into MJF later. So this whole dynamics, because I think you was calling me crazy a couple weeks ago when I was like, this is how it has to end. Yeah.
MJF is going to be Hangman.
MJF is definitely going to be Hangman. MJF is definitely going to be Hangman. And that is going to be the match. And it's going to after the CM Punk thing, is like, all right, CM Punk and then Lance Archer. And what's going to happen is that you got two stories that is going to go on with MJF. It's going to be his rise to the championship, but you also going to have the betrayal of Wardlow. He got that going on for him. Hangman Adam Page is going to deal with the question of, is he deserving to be in that champion? So what's going to happen is that this is going to be special for him, and it's going to be a 6 months of just stretching it out to Hangman versus.
Going to be the champion by the end of the year. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, I'm putting that in the books. MJF champion by the end of the year. All Out will be that, and we are putting that episode 18. And it's going to be he's going to win the championship against Hangman. Now, I will put a caveat in there. I will put one caveat in there. If they decide to slow burn Wardlow,
they've been doing
that. You're missing it.
Okay, go ahead.
If they decide to slow burn Wardlow all the way up into the All Out Hangman versus MJF, that is his turn. Anytime before then, Hangman, MJF wins. If they push that to the very last moment, MJF loses to Hangman. But that is the only thing that is going to stop. That is, yeah. So
word for it. Guess we're gonna have to see.
Definitely gonna have to see. But yeah. But after the whole Lance Archer,
we had a tag team match with the House of Black versus two members of Death Triangle, which and
you said you didn't understand?
I don't like the Pac thing. I didn't understand. I knew he spit the stuff in his eyes, and then he was trying to act like he was blind, but then all of a sudden, oh my God, I can see. Yeah, that part just kind of.
No, we knew that he wasn't gonna be blind going in, but the fact that he is so in tuned into the ring, he is so in tuned into the moment that he knows how they are, because that's what the story was. Yes, I have a different view of you, Malachi. I see you for who you are, Malachi. All of that shit that he was putting through, he was like, dude, I could be blindfolded and beat you. And that made it feel good. But
he didn't win.
He didn't.
Granted, he didn't get pinned.
No, he didn't. And I knew that he was going to lose, because there's nowhere that he is going to win while wearing the exact same colors as the kings of the Black Throne.
Which I still think that he's going to be a part of it. It's just a slow burner waiting for Phoenix to come back.
Oh yeah, no. If Phoenix was here, that would have been a turn. But yeah, it's about to be a slow burn. I see Pac joining the Kings of the Black Throne. My heart will be broken because that means that's the end of the Death Triangle. But
then they could always go because he's going to be teaming with Santa and Ortiz.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say they could just get Eddie Kingston. Well, Eddie Kingston can get just plugged and placed into a few different places.
Because he's just so cool and everybody loves him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's so cool and everybody loves him. Everybody loves him. But I thought that opening, the opening of the match, the beginning of that was fucking awesome. Because it didn't feel like it felt like he literally was seeing everything that was going on as it happened with the whole blocking, ducking, and knowing his way around the ring. I thought to myself, kayfabe, oh my God, this guy is awesome. But shout out to Pac on just being him being away from the ring. I know that he felt like he spent every day in the ring envisioning and trying to make sure that he sees where everything is going. That is a hard work ethic to just, I'm gonna memorize these steps, these inches, these centimeters, and where I'm going to be. So shout out to Pac for that.
Yeah. And then they had a nice little match. The House of the Round. House of Black ends up getting the victory over. So there's that. Just waiting to see what happens, really.
Yeah.
Have our little what we think is going to happen. Hopefully they keep it up during next week's Dynamite.
Yeah.
Then we get to that went over 30 minutes. MJF faces CM Punk in Chicago. Go ahead. You take it.
Listen, I'm just going to say this. That night, MJF's record went up 2 victories. He got him twice. I don't want to hear no bullshit about, he beat him, but he beat him twice. He done got a pin, and the ref tried to cheat him like Aubrey cheated him with it, Chris Jericho, and pushed him the exact same way and almost cost him the match. He should be fined for that. That ref, who was that ref? Aubrey and that ref should have been fined for that.
I don't know. Because sometimes, the ref has to take charge, has to get in there.
Yeah, no, he didn't get in there. He pushed him. That's force. And as a ref, you are supposed to be neutral. You shouldn't be applying force unless it is to prevent further violence from happening. And guess what? CM Punk wasn't threatened with violence in that moment when he pushed him. Matter of fact, CM Punk was on the ground and the match was over.
Well, he was choking him with tape. So again, it's attempted murder,
Listen. It ain't cheating if you ain't trying. I just want to put that out there. But and it's only cheating if you get caught. We done seen a bunch of people get hit with tape. He didn't get caught.
He got caught with the tape in his armpit.
No. The match was over and the tape failed. He didn't get caught. The match was done. If that's just like, hey, I win the championship, and then the ref decides that he wants to watch the replay of AEW Dynamite the next day and says, oh no, he cheated. This, it happened twice to him.
The next day, it was like the next couple minutes. And he didn't even look at thing. He just saw the proof. Listen.
You are taking individual, incremental parts of a hypothetical story to validate what really happened. The match was done. If Steph Curry shot a game-winning three-pointer, but his foot was on the line, and the ref was like, man, I think your foot was on the line. No, matter of fact, I see the scuff mark where that was. We're going to run that back. No, that's not happening. Only time that can happen if somebody's challenged. We done seen that happen 2 times to him.
Not in the NBA.
Huh?
The NBA, you're thinking the NFL, maybe? NBA, they look at the end of the shot, end of the thing. They look too close. Oh, they're going to go look.
Yeah. Listen, I didn't say buzzer beater. I said game-winning 3. Meaning that there was still probably about 5 seconds left on the clock. The ref made the decision and said that was 3, and then says, you know what? I see a scuff right there. Game winner buzzer beaters, they look at. But you've seen a bunch of times throughout the whole season of the NBA, foot be on the line, they still count 3.
But should wrestling bring in instant replays? Because they always show it on the screen anyway.
No. What they should do is just say, hey, he won. Oh, snap. He cheated. Well, we're going to have to run this back another day. But this counts as a victory because we already made judgment calls. It's like Stone Cold Steve Austin passing out in a leg. But you are going to make the decision of saying, all right, he passed out. He can't tap out. But throughout his whole career, he never tapped out. But I'm going to make this happen. Nah. Or the counts where y'all botched the 3 count because the person arm was up, but you still counted 3, and that was already done. It only matters when to 2 different people. The only time they change that is when it's MJF or when Triple H says, hey, Mankind didn't win that one. That is the only times that has happened.
Well, I mean, maybe MJF should start following the rules, and the referees won't be looking out for cheating ways. Even though he still needed to win, he didn't get caught the second time. That's because he had an assist from Wardlow.
Listen, now, if the fans said, hey, he had the ring, they was going to run it another 30 minutes? No,
they could have run it back like another 5.
No, he beat him twice. And it's on the ref to catch it before he makes the decision. It only changes when it's MJF. That goal line moves. That boy is great. If he cheats to win, we done seen 30 years of Eddie Guerrero get away with all of this. So we know how the matches go.
Yes, but Eddie Guerrero rarely got caught.
Listen, but that's because when the match was over, you know what the ref did? He left. These guys are staying around and just trying to observe.
They have to raise their hand. That's on MJF to get rid of the evidence.
Okay. That is on MJF to get rid of the evidence, and he shouldn't have accepted the hand raise. But let's go back to Aubrey. Another ref had to come out to say something. Do you see the conspiracy? They are planning to try to bury this man.
MJF should stop being dick then, so people won't try to go and find reasons.
He's not being a dick. He's just being honest.
For Wardlow right now, if Wardlow wins the TNT Championship, he has to give it to MJF.
Because he's being honest. I own that contract. I own you. If you didn't like this, you shouldn't have. It's in the fine print. Read the contract. He's only being honest.
And that's why Wardlow's going to beat that rich little Long Beach ass.
Wardlow going to lose that one too.
Wardlow's going to cost MJF the title.
That only if it's at All Out. That is the thing. If they do it in Revolution, it ain't gonna cost them the title.
That's too early.
Huh?
They're doing something else at Revolution.
Yeah, but shit, even if they do All In or Double or Nothing, if Hangman and MJF are fighting and it wasn't the heel turn, if it wasn't a face turn before the big match of All Out, yeah, All Out is going to be where he costs. That's the only way he's going to lose.
I'm going to let you think that, sir.
Yeah. Anytime before that, he's not going to cost him a championship. It's just going to be a big turn. And there's going to be a stipulation that it is at play. It won't be a championship, though. I think that is going to be.
It'll be him if he wins. He gets the chance to go for the title. The world is just going to come in.
If he,
Pardon me.
yep, and then he's going to say, "Hey, y'all cheated me these last 2 times. Let me get this." And then, yeah, that would be a beautiful. That'd be meta. That would be meta if he says, "Hey, listen, y'all seen I got cheated, and I supposed to win that. Let me get my match back, just like how y'all cheated me 2 times in a row." That'd be a meta moment, and I would love that.
Yeah, but there are no people in the WWE of authority. There's only Nicholas Khanis. Oh wait, no, not Nick Khan.
And you said WWE, yeah, AEW, and there's only Tony because the
Anthony of the Corners.
yeah, but Tony is fair. He's fair, and if he allows that to happen, then yeah.
You know who could defeat him? His name goes by Hook.
Hook gonna be who?
MJF. Choke his ass out.
Listen, you put Hook up against MJF right now, Hook will have a loss.
No shit. MJ Hook or MJ Hook. Hook would still choke him out though.
Oh no, he would definitely choke him out. And that's another thing. That man, CM Punk, thank you. Because that was a great match.
Yes.
And you put MJF over even though he didn't really need to be over. Now you added a layer to the story between MJF and Adam, because Adam gave Brian the only loss, and you and MJF gave you your only loss. And you got MJF over so good. And you did not look like you lost that. It just looked like, man, whoever had the longer drive or whoever had that last little bit of will. It was a coin toss. And that's how a match should be done. Like honestly, I don't know if everybody thought it was going to be MJF giving them that loss, but the people that did
how it was going to go, because as soon as they did the chokeout spot, I looked at the clock and I'm like, we got a lot of time left.
Yeah.
Next in the group, I was like, this is the main event, right? I'm so confused.
Yeah. But for them to make that look like a coin toss, and it could have been, and honestly, you would have been happy either way. Mm-hmm. That was amazing. Because even the Bryan Danielson Hangman, it could have went either way, and those matches would have been good, and it would have been, people would have just accepted it. However, it was. Only time they didn't accept it was when it was a draw, and people were pissed because they wanted to see somebody win. But yeah.
What a draw.
Oh no, I love that draw. That draw was an amazing draw. Oh, and I said this last week or the week before? But AEW is gonna stop being so goddamn funny, and they was gonna take this to a serious, darker place. And it looks like they are continually going there. They're continuing to go serious. We're not gonna be as playful. We're not gonna be as funny, ha ha, he slapstick. I mean, they even though
was mad, baby.
Yeah, I was even about to say that. Even though how Adam Cole and the Young Bucks been talking to Brandon Cutler and that, it is like, oh, it ain't funny no more. It is like, hey, Adam Cole was like, I'm tired of hearing all of this. Oh, he beat me. I don't get. Yeah, I was like,
him going up for the title next, actually.
Oh, he definitely gonna go up for the title next, and he is going to get shot down because I already said how this is gonna go. So ain't nothing changing my mind with that. If you think that Adam Cole about to win this championship, I wouldn't be mad if Adam won, but I don't see it. But I do see it, Adam winning.
Okay, well, that is something that we shall see.
All right. Now, is there anything else that has happened?
Anything else in wrestling that we need to talk about? Talked about Dynamite, talked about AEW.
Rampages tonight.
Yep. Don't know what matches are going on besides Adam Cole versus
Yeah.
And then we also have SmackDown going on tonight. Supposedly Ronda Rousey's going to be picking her opponent tonight. For any of
Oh,
that,
and I can't wait to see that. Probably actually gonna sit and watch that.
Good WrestleMania matches that I think they should do. They should do Big E versus Goldberg,
Yes.
Styles versus Edge,
Yes.
Bailey versus Lita,
Okay.
Charlotte versus Sasha,
Yeah.
Becky versus Ronda, and
Yeah.
KO Seth
Yeah.
for the title.
Yeah. I think that would be good.
Those are the 6 matches I've thought of. But
And then, of course, it's the Brock versus Roman in WrestleMania 2. So that'd be 7.
They're not doing that one. They're trying to bring Goldberg back to face Roman Reigns.
I hope not. I hope it stays Brock versus Roman. I hope Roman wins, and I hope that The Rock comes out and it just lands a whole nother thing of The Rock taking.
Dude, the next year, Roman Reigns will smell what The Rock is cooking.
And you can do an entire whole year build up to WrestleMania, and it's about who's at the head of that table.
And that just means another year of Roman Reigns eating everything.
See, and that's the one thing. Like, for the head of the table, he doesn't have to be champion. I think that even if they take that head of the table story between The Rock and Roman, I can actually see that at some point him losing because The Rock forced it to happen. And honestly, the head of the table is just a great story, and it doesn't have anything to do with championship. It just goes with a great ass story. Hopefully not. Not unless at WrestleMania, The Rock comes in, help Brock gets the title, and that starts off the story.
It's too much work for WrestleMania.
Yeah. Probably.
The best thing is The Rock coming out at the end and just pointing at WrestleMania at the sign.
I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want Rock at WrestleMania. I want Rock smashing something over Roman Reigns' head because he's the head, not him. Like, yeah.
Anybody in the head? Don't you know about CTE?
Listen, it got to happen a couple of times. Nothing. I'm gonna stop being silly. CTE is a serious thing. Don't nobody hit anybody on the head. Come across the back.
The goalpost when you play football, but that's just scoring a touchdown. Go Bengals.
Yeah, go Bengals. Fuck the Rams. Fuck Matthew Stafford. Go Bengals.
He's just mad because Matthew Stafford couldn't bring the Lions to any. That's just because the Lions are a garbage team. They're still my favorite.
Listen, there's a lot of reasons why I hate Matthew Stafford right now. But yeah. If there's nothing else, we're going to wrap this up.
Yeah, we are dragging.
Yeah. So if anybody haven't told you, I love you. Nobody told you they love you today. I love you. And
I told you today, get up, take a shower, be productive, and eat your vitamins.
Yeah. And learn how to love yourself. I shouldn't be the one telling you I love you and that validates you. Learn to love yourself because I'm going to love you regardless. But if you don't love yourself, it's going to be a problem. So if anybody haven't told you,
take a shower.
Yeah. If anybody haven't told you love you today, take a shower and look in the mirror and say, I love myself.
I love myself.
Okay, Kendrick. If anybody haven't told you, you are awesome. I'm saying it fuck what everybody else think, because I should be that person in your life that makes you feel awesome, regardless of what everybody else thinks. Yeah, but we are we have the link of everybody's IG and Twitter and everything. Is going to be in the description, so y'all don't even got to worry about that. We have a lot of stuff that's going on. But today we are short one person, so we just wanted to make this as good as possible, even though this seems like a handicap match.
I mean, for some reason, I feel like we still win as long.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm long winded. Yeah, they made fun of me saying that it was me for them having a 30-minute episode, and this one's probably gonna be an hour and a half. So
It is what it is.
Chris not being here only saved us 10 minutes to go around. Yeah, but we want you to continue what it is that you love doing, and that is watching wrestling, enjoying wrestling. And until next time, we'll see you later. Peace. Talk to y'all later. All right. I am on my way out. Let me stop this.